welcome back or welcome to the channel. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is T and this is my YouTube channel, Crumpets Tea and Sewing. So today I'm going to give you a little bit of an update of my sewing plans and also share with you what I have been sewing so far. So this first piece here, this is the Atelier blouse pattern and it's called the Frida Blouse, and I'll make sure that I put the link in the description box below so you can go over to the website and look at more descriptions on this particular pattern. So it is a beautiful pattern. It is a French pattern, but you get dual language instructions. So you have, I think there's a French variation as well as a English variation as well. And so this is the first blouse that I made, and this is the, they have two different versions. Now this is the one that is the three-quarter length sleeve with the band on the edge of the sleeve. I think the other variation, I believe it's the same length for your sleeve pattern, but you do have some differences in length for your blouse. So this is, I believe, the shorter length for the blouse that I chose here. And as you can see, I did some color blocking on it. And the purple fabric I purchased from Fabric Direct, and I'll put that in the description box below. It's called Wholesale Fabric Direct. And they have the most beautiful solid color rayon challis fabrics. If you're interested in solid rayon fabrics, I would recommend them above most fabric shops online. They have a really nice weight, a really nice drape. They're not translucent at all. You know, with some rayon challis, they can be a little bit translucent depending on the color, but these I absolutely love. So that's where I purchased that. And then this printed fabric, this is a fabric that was sponsored to me from Minerva, and I had a little bit of fabric left over. I made the Simplicity S 9702, I believe the pattern is. This past summer. It's a really nice, easy empire waist dress that is absolutely gorgeous. I have a pattern review on the channel of that, as well as I talk about that on the Minerva blog. I'll put those links in the description box below as well. But the fabric is also a viscose rayon of sorts. It's so beautiful. I love the colorway, and I decided, since I had a little bit of the fabric left over, that I would play with the fabric and see what it looks like against other solid fabrics. Just wanted to go ahead and share with you my first make with this. Now this is my wearable muslin, so I decided to make this with this fabric here. And again, because I had strips of fabric of this left over and I had extra fabric of this purple, beautiful purple rayon, I decided I would go ahead and test it with this. And I did an actual muslin with 100% cotton fabric first. So this is my second test muslin. And so I kind of knew at this point that it was going to come out the way that I wanted, because this was my second go of this. So as you can see, it has a band going down the center front, and that's where your button placket is, and your buttons will go down the front here. Now the instructions tell you to put 5 buttons and buttonholes on here, but I put 6 because I had an extra, like, it has like some extra length down here, and so I decided to go ahead and put a button down here as well. So the buttons start right below the yoke here. I don't know if you can see that, but the yoke is here, and the buttons start just below that yoke, and they are about somewhere between 2.5 to 3 inches apart there. I did not put the buttons on yet because I didn't open up the button placket. I'm still in the process of doing that. I'm really slow with this project. I really did have fun with this pattern, and it's really fun to sew. I can't remember the size that I chose, but I'll try to find out that size when I pull out my pattern pieces, and I'll put that information here. It also has this neckband here. Now the neckband is just a stand-up neckband. You don't put any buttons around the neckband. As I stated before, the buttons and the buttonholes start right below this yoke piece here. And so you're not putting any buttons above that, which is really nice. Now on the inside of the garment, I went ahead and I serged everything. The instructions do tell you to cut out 2 back yoke pieces so that you can use the burrito method to enclose this piece here. So it is actually supposed to be another piece of fabric here, but I didn't have enough fabric to do all of that. And I didn't want to cut into my beautiful purple fabric no more than I had to, because I do want to make a dress with that. And so I just went ahead and serged the seams there. But just in case you want to make this pattern, I just wanted to go ahead and let you know that you are supposed to put another piece of fabric here. And that didn't bother me at all using the serger. And so for my next 2 garments, I just continued to do it this way instead of actually wasting fabric and doing another piece. I know it's supposed to act as a stabilizer and things of that nature, but I just went ahead and did it that way. I had some more of this fabric left over, and so I went ahead and I color block the edge of the sleeve here with this beautiful band, which is really cute. The pattern features gathering around right underneath this yoke here on each side. There's some gathering there, and then on the back there's also a little bit of gathering in the back as well. So it's a really nice pattern. I really enjoyed it. I will do a full pattern review of it and tell you the sizes and the different garments that I made with this. But this is what I have been working on for the last couple of weeks. I'll share with you one more make that I made. I won't share with you my favorite one yet. I'm going to save that one for the pattern review, but I'll share with you one more that I made. So this one here, I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't turn out the way that I wanted, because this was my second garment and I expected it to turn out better than the first one that I made with the purple. And I was just really sad that I made a few mistakes on this. I chose the same size. You can't really see the gathering underneath the yoke on this one because I did not put any color blocking here, so you can't really see it, and the print is very busy, so it's really hard to see. But I still put the neckband on. I think in the future, instead of putting a neckband on, I want to try putting bias binding around the neckline just to see what that would look like. And then for this one, instead of adding a cuff as the pattern calls for, I decided to make a really narrow channel on the edge of the sleeve and put elastic in the band. I really don't like elastics on my sleeve very often, but I decided to do this because I wanted this sleeve. It's actually really loose fitting. And so if you don't put a band on, you're going to have to gather in the fabric somehow because it's really loose fitting. And so I wanted to just play with it and see how it would look with the elastic instead of the cuff. I think I like the cuff better. Yeah, I do. I like the cuff more. But that's my second variation. And I messed up with the button placket here. Like I said, the pattern calls for 5 button holes, and I calculated for 6, but I miscalculated and I made a mistake. I don't know if you can see this here, but I had to unpick this buttonhole here and I have to start over. And now that buttonhole will be a little higher on the neckline, which will be past this yoke piece here. I'm really sad about it, but I don't want to unpick all these button holes. So I'm just going to see how it turns out when I replace it a little higher. So I'm going to have to recalculate and move that buttonhole up just a little bit. So that's what I need to do with that one. And I serged all the seams on the inside of this one as well. And this fabric, if you're interested, again, this is from Minerva as well. And this was not a sponsored piece. I actually purchased this. I'll go on my orders list on Minerva. and look this up and see if it's still available. And if it is, I will put that in the description box below. Okay, so now I want to talk about another project that didn't quite go as planned. I didn't really get far on this project because this project requires a lot of fabric, as I had imagined, because I looked at the back of the envelope and went by their suggested fabric requirements for this project. So this is the Vogue V1890, and I really wanted to make this short skirt in the black linen fabric, and this longer skirt I wanted to make it in a printed brown and black spotted fabric that I purchased from Minerva, and neither one of those fabric choices are wide enough for this pattern. I would have to cut out each pattern piece, the back and the front, individually instead of cutting them, you know, when you have the fabric double folded. And when I double fold the fabric, it's not enough because the skirt is so wide at the bottom that it doesn't, I don't have enough fabric coverage for the bottom of each of these skirts. And not only that, so I have enough in terms of length, but not width, right? And so if I open up the fabric and I cut each of these skirt pattern pieces out individually, then I won't have enough in length either. So I'm going to have to put this pattern on hold, sadly. Again, I'm so upset because I've been trying to get this out of my stash and sew it for some time. And it's just sad that I won't be able to sew it. If I had to guess, you would need somewhere around 3, maybe 3.5 yards of fabric if you're doing a 60-inch wide fabric. So I didn't find this fabric recommendation here accurate at all. And I can only imagine for view B, which is the longer one, it's saying 3 5/8 here. Again, you might need a little bit more. So again, I have to put that one on the back burner. And instead of sewing that one, I decided I have these other 2 skirts in my stash. This one is probably the closest in terms of the silhouettes and the style that I'm going for. This one has pleats on the back and the front skirt, which is why I purchased it. I thought that it would be more favorable, in my opinion, to gathers. I really like that. However, this one has a fly front zipper closure on the front, which I'm okay with. I like buttons more so than zippers. I find that buttons will last longer, and if the buttons fall off, you can always replace them more easily than you can with zippers. If the zipper break, you have to go and do all that unpicking and redo the front. And so that's why I like doing the buttons instead of zippers a lot of the time, because of that issue with the zipper. I am still sad about that, but this pattern here, you do have a button placket going down the entire length of the garment, you know, with every last one of these choices here for A, B, C, and D. The difference between A, B, and C and D is that A and B have gathering around the waistline, whereas C and D, you don't have that gathering around the waistline. This is an A-line skirt. This one's also somewhat A-line. However, again, you have the gathers around the waistline, and all 4 variations have a waistband. And with view A, it has this nice little tie detail that you can actually use, and the ties are inserted on the side seams there. I have a pattern review of this on the channel. I made it a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And if I can remember, I'll have to go back and watch my own video, but if I can remember, I believe I made the size large and that was too big. And so I had to go back and get this pattern, which is the extra small, small, and medium. And so you do have 2 separate sizes and 2 separate envelopes. And the second envelope is the large and the extra large. So I picked this up because I had to go down to the medium. So I'm really excited about revisiting that pattern because I've been wanting to revisit this pattern ever since I purchased it. So I think I would go with this plan now that this plan has failed for me. Or I like this pattern as well. It's the Simplicity S9786, just came out this past spring. Easy to sew pattern. It has button loop closures instead of button holes, which is always nice as well. I went ahead and cut out the pattern pieces. I believe you have about 6 pattern pieces. I was really surprised to find that you do have a separate waistband casing that you're sewing to the skirt. You also have a drawstring, you have pockets, you have the front skirt, the back skirt, and I believe that's all the pieces there. But yeah, oh, and the loops. You have the loop pattern as well. So it's not a bad pattern in terms of how many pieces you have to use. Even this pattern here, I believe this pattern has about 9, maybe 10 pieces. So it's not that bad either. But this one's going to be probably easier for those individuals who don't want to deal with buttonholes. You can just use the loops. But I think I'm leaning towards this one here. And I love button details. I absolutely love button details. So I think I am going to lean towards that. And the fabric, again, that I'm using for that. So it's this black rayon linen fabric here that I purchased from Joanne. So for that. And then this beautiful rayon viscose linen look fabric that I purchased from Minerva. As you can tell, it's already been washed. I just need to press it. So those are the things that I've been working on so far. I'm excited to get the skirt done. Stay tuned for the Atelier Frida blouse because that review should be coming on the channel here real shortly. I think I have all the variations of that blouse that I'm willing to sew at this point. And so I'm ready to do the full pattern review of that. Thank you for tuning in today. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are returning, thank you for subscribing to my channel and coming to watch me week after week. I am excited to talk to you all in the next video. I hope you all have a beautiful and happy sewing week and stay creative, everyone.